And if you look at the edge of the pin, you can see kind of some distortion. I rotated all the way back. We knew it was going to go all the way back because it was in this position anyhow, so we know that. Where we're worried about or concerned with is when it's all the way forward. If that doesn't fix it, then I'll have to take that safety lever out. All right, slide our firing pin through our bolt sleeve, slide our spring on. Oh my word, so much nicer.
Hi, and welcome to Over the Gunsmith's Shoulder. I'm Gene Kelly, president of the American Gunsmithing Institute, and in this segment, Master Gunsmith Ken Brooks is going to walk you step by step through a gunsmithing repair. You're going to learn a lot. And if you'd like to learn to be a certified professional gunsmith, then go to AmericanGunsmithingInstitute.com and request an information package. Now let's learn from Ken.
Well, welcome back to my shop for another Over the Gunsmith's Shoulder. I'm here with a Winchester Model 70 that's got safety issues. And of course, with me, as always, is cameraman extraordinaire Robert Dunn. You guys don't ever get to see him, but he's right back there. So anyhow, enough foolishness. It is a Winchester Model 70 post 64. It is indeed empty. And safety issues. The complaint was, or is, that the safety won't go on. And what's funny is that I've had two of these within the last month or two. They bring it in, they just say that the safety won't go on. So the first thing I do is grab it, make sure it's empty, and put the safety on. And they go, "How'd you do that?" I'm like, "I don't know. I put the safety on it. It works. Got 3 positions, you know." So I hand it back to them, and they grab it, and they go, "And it won't go on. And by golly, it's awful tight." So the manner with which I was trying to operate the safety is a little different than the operator. So a lot of them want to grab the lever right here and pull straight back. And when they do that, it is stiff. It is. When I was grabbing it, my thumb catches right there because I usually have my hand down here and I just rotate it back. So I'm kind of pushing more down than straight back. And so for me, it was working. For them, not so much. I'm not the shooter. It's not my gun. So I got to make it right for them and still maintain the safety operation, make sure that the gun is still in a safe operating condition. The great thing, one of the great things about the 3-position safety is you put it in the halfway on position and you can take the bolt out of the gun. And you can take the bolt sleeve firing pin assembly out of the gun. Really, really easy. At this point, put it in the fire position. You're going to compress that spring, pull the firing pin keeper and washer off. There's the firing pin spring. So on some Model 70s, they have a screw that enters right about here and goes down through and bisects, and that prevents the firing pin from coming out the back. On this one, we've got this sleeve affair and a pin that goes through right here. Now, generally speaking, going off my memory, it goes in from the right side. You can see we got some hammer marks here. And if you look at the edge of the pin, you can see kind of some distortion. And what it is they flare that end of the pin and they drive it so it's wider at this side. So it goes in one way. If I rotate it around, you can see this side doesn't have the hammer marks yet. It's going to because I'm going to hammer it out from what is the left side. So let's try this. So pushing the firing pin all the way back as far as it'll go, I can rotate the safety to where it's in the all the way to the rear position. The reason for that is a lot of times it'll lay on the bench or on my block easier. That's what I want. There we go. Used a starter punch. And now you got to be careful because that pin will come out so far it actually hits the safety lever. And we don't want that. So once you got it started, rotate the safety lever forward. Then you can go back to driving that pin out. Okay, you can see these staking lines. There's one, rotate the pin, there's one, rotate the pin, and there's a third one. And so when they stake those, it flares this end. And of course it's wider at that end. And there's the lead end. So anyhow, just in passing showing you that. Now this sleeve should come right off the back. There we go. There's our cocking piece and our safety. So I'm going to try to do this repair without taking everything apart. I don't take everything apart unless I have to. So if I have to remove the safety, this pin right here gets driven out. Come around. You can see we got a hole right there. Usually this punch isn't going to fit, but it goes in and can drive that pin out. Not all the Model 70s have this hole. Some of them you just drive that out and the safety comes out the top. Again, I'm not going to fool with that if I don't have to. The safety itself engages the cocking piece right here. So I'll be a little brutally honest. This is a post-64 Winchester Model 70, which the customer thought was a pre-64, by the way, and it's neither here nor there. But it's one of those, he's like, here's my pre-64 Model 70. And I look at it and I go, well, that's not a pre-64. And he says, yeah, it is. I said, no, it's not. It's got the plunger ejector and the little extractor and doesn't have the long claw. It's not a pre-64. He's like, well, how did my dad buy it in 1962? And I said, well, he didn't. You try to be kind, but it was just kind of one of those amusing things. So getting back to pre-64 versus post-64, I want you to look at this surface right here. That is so rough. So rough. Just rough. Just bad. So what I'm going to do is, and you can see the wear mark. See how it's shiny right there? The safety rotates back, catches the cocking piece. As the safety continues to rotate backwards, it pulls the cocking piece and the firing pin back away from the sear. And what's happening is that safety, over the years, is starting to wear a little bit, and just everything in the gun is starting to wear. You can tell the gun is fairly worn. They use it for hunting quite a little bit. Regardless, as things start to wear out, this cocking piece affair can move further forward, so the safety can't engage quite as easily. So what I'm going to do is I'm simply going to polish this whole surface right here. I'm not going to take a lot of material off. I'm just going to polish it because I still want the safety to engage and pull the cocking piece and firing pin off of the sear. If I start filing on it to remove material, I take off too much, the safety goes on, you pull the trigger, the sear drops down, the cocking piece moves forward onto the safety over the top of the sear. So now when you take the safety off, there's nothing holding the striker back because it's now resting against the safety. When you take the safety off, the firing pin falls and the gun fires. So I don't want to take material off. I simply want to polish that to make the safety slide on easier and continue to do its job of pulling the firing pin off of the sear. All right, long-winded explanation of what's going on. I'm going to get over to the vise and get set up. The next time you see me, I'll be set up in the vise. All right, as I have it clamped in the vise like so, it's a little different than I normally do, but we have to set things up so you guys can see. I am right-handed, so I'm not going to file. Just using this as an example, I use a file as backing for my sandpaper. This inclined plane right here in that shiny spot is where I need to polish. So just giving you guys a heads up. So we got some sandpaper here. It's about half wore out. I'm going blind, so I got to take my glasses off sometimes so I can see. All right. Now look at the shiny spot. See, I just barely hit that, just taking off the bluing that's on the part. And I think this is about, what is this, 220 grit sandpaper. Not getting carried away. And now I'm going to take some, I don't know if this is 320 or 400. Again, the file as backing, that way I get a nice flat surface. Okay, so what I've got, you can see that I've polished that whole surface. You can still see some gouged, rough, scratched machine marks from when it was made, and then it was blued over the top. You can see them, they're very clear. I don't want to take that surface all the way down as of yet. I may eventually, but right now I don't want to, because the safety works for me, didn't for the customer. Remember, we went into that. So I just want to polish it so the safety is going to catch and cam everything back. If I go and cut that all the way down, I'm going to make the safety not work correctly, which is not what I want to do. So at this point, literally what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a little grease on that. I'm going to put it back in the gun and check it. It's not a long-term, this is kind of one of those fun projects, because you adjust the safety for smooth operation, and you can charge a lot more than the amount of time it takes you to do it. So let me get back over and get her put together. All right, so basically what I'm going to do is put things back together. I mentioned I want to put a little bit of moly grease right on that bearing surface. Slide the firing pin into the bolt sleeve. I'm not going to put the cap back on. There's no need. All right, we're going to compress this spring down below the groove in the firing pin. Slide our washer down and over. Slide our keeper up in place. Now at this point, take our firing pin and our bolt sleeve. We're going to compress the spring in the firing pin, rotate the safety to where it's straight out, because we want to be able to put this back in the gun. Move this stuff out of the way. So I rotated all the way back. We knew it was going to go all the way back because it was in this position anyhow, so we know that. Where we're worried about or concerned with is when it's all the way forward. Now, for those of you who are watching, you'll notice that the cocking piece right here, this red is danger, so when it's cocked, that's sticking back. When I flipped that safety all the way forward, you might not have been able to see it, that moved forward, which means that the safety is pulling the cocking piece rearward. So watch right here. It's hard to see. There we go. See it coming back? So at this point, either this point or all the way back, if I pull the trigger returns, which means it's getting underneath the sear. So now remember, the safety worked for me. I grabbed it right here, rotated it back, no problem. The customer was grabbing it right here and rotating it back, and it was stiff. It's still a little stiff, but it's much more manageable than what it was. Make sure the bolt's all the way down. And there's a certain amount of wear that's going to take place. So I think I'm going to do it just a little bit more, and then I may even hit that on the buffer just to smooth it up a bit more. If that doesn't fix it, then I'll have to take that safety lever out, which I don't want to do just because it's that much more work, and I really don't think I need to. So wipe off the grease, and you can see the rub mark right here. So I'm going to polish that a little bit more, hit this surface with the buffer, and we'll see where we are then. So once again, right here is that surface. And this time I'm just hitting it with the 400 grit. And I have some worn out, maybe not worn out, but used 600 grit. Make that really shine up some. Oh yeah. So I think what I'll do is I'll put it back in the gun, see where we're at. If it's still a little on the rough side, then I'm going to hit it on the buffer. All right, slide our firing pin through our bolt sleeve, slide our spring on. Firing pin washer, slide it past the groove. Find the keeper. There we go. So I didn't put grease on it this time. That's okay. Oh my word. So much nicer. And remember, I used moly grease, so there would have been, or there still is, moly on the safety itself. Safety comes back, cocking piece was pulled back, pulling the trigger. Now I'm going to, instead of coming all the way to the rear, I'm going to push it forward. The safety lowers the cocking piece onto the sear. The sear then goes into contact with the trigger, and we fire. So now all the way back, pull the trigger, same thing. We're functioning as we should. Good. So basically that's done. All I got to do now is, I lied. All I got to do now, have to do, is assemble the cap over the top. But what I'm going to do is, since I got this apart and I was working right here, so I am going to run a patch inside the bolt because the bolt had a bunch of crud in it. Get that cleaning patch out of there. Look down inside. That looks so much nicer. All well and good. All right. Take our cap. Cap's looking nasty inside too. So just wiping out the big chunks. Slide the cap over the back of the bolt sleeve and the cocking piece. Make sure the hole lines up. There we go. Now, generally on the bolt actions, when I put them back together, I put a little bit of that moly grease, a couple of the threads. Screw the bolt sleeve in. I screw it out. Just make sure that that grease gets on all the threads. Not a ton of grease, just a little bit of moly grease. It's going to make things last a bit longer. And we are done. I didn't have to go to the buffer, although I could have, but there was no need. Got everything done right here at the bench, quick and easy. So it's funny that I don't know if you guys have noticed at your shops, but I'll get 2 or 3 repairs like this, exactly the same repair, 2 different guys, you know, come in, the same thing. Now, I won't see another Winchester 70 safety repair like this for another 2 years. And then I'll get 3 or 4 of them. It's weird how it goes in cycles like that. Or one time it happened with the Winchester Model 12. I had like 4 of them come in within a matter of a few days. One was mailed from out of state, a couple local guys that don't even know each other. It's just cyclic. It's just bizarre. It's kind of fun to think about the odds of that, you know. Anyway, so you can see how quick and easy that was. I'm done. Robert doesn't have anything to add. Otherwise, he'd have said something. You'd have heard him. We'll see you next time. Have a good one.
If you want to learn real gunsmithing and see more videos like this, Be sure and like and subscribe so you don't miss out. If you're interested in training to be a real gunsmith, go check out the American Gunsmithing Institute.com, or for your own firearms training, AmericanGunsmith.com.